Hey everybody, Corey here with CDS Automotive. We're back at the whiteboard today, and I just want to make a few points on some things I've noticed throughout my career and things that I continue to see progressing through my career as a business owner and a automotive technician who specializes in electrical diagnostics in that end of work. So I was kind of thinking, what does it take to be efficient, proficient, and accurate in automotive electrical diagnostics? And I knew early on in my career that this was the path that I wanted to go down, and I wanted to learn, and I wanted to gain an edge and hone my skills tailored towards this end of the automotive field. So, throughout the years of working at various shops and different companies and stuff like that, I've kind of noticed a similar pattern, if you will, and then some areas that I find that I myself have lacked in, and some other things that some companies kind of lack in. So I just broke it down here to basically four categories, and these can all be expanded on a lot more, obviously. But I just wanted to kind of touch the high points here. So we'll start at the top, and we will work clockwise as we go through this. So obviously, this could be kind of applied. I mean, you can make out a different chart for each area, of the automotive field, whether it be mechanical, or what it would take to be a good suspension tech or an alignment tech, or a heavy line R&R tech or a transmission rebuild, on and on and on. I mean, it really applies to each role. But today we're just going to focus on the electrical diagnostics and kind of work through that. So a big thing that I've seen and still see is, starting at the top there, is service information. As these vehicles are complex and continue to go down that path of becoming more complex, service information is crucial. Whether it's the OE, the manufacturer's information coming right through them, an aftermarket, a reputable aftermarket service information provider, or maybe you've got previous test results already saved for the same year, the same make, the same model, with maybe the same code, and you've seen this quite a few times, but you still have a solid process to pinpoint the root cause of the problem. So service information, it seems to be a continuing battle per se, to where there are some pitfalls with the aftermarket. The OE, I found a lot of shops do not have access or utilize OE service information. And then I've straight up seen people who, disregard it altogether. They just run into an electrical concern without consulting service information. And it's very easy to get mixed up at that point when you don't know. Maybe you're not aware with every strategy or layout of the circuit that you're working on. So, in order to properly troubleshoot, we need to have correct service information, accurate service information for what we're working on. So, moving on to the second point here, skill set. Skill set is like anything else, right? You always want to be expanding on it. You always want to be growing within your skill set. And then kind of the sub things on the skill set there, a lot of things play into a skill set. How are you with solving problems? How are you, are you experienced on that particular problem? Do you have diverse knowledge of tooling that could help rectify and repair, or at least diagnose said problem? Are you knowledgeable on that line of vehicles? And that kind of ties back. So, your skill set, if you look between them, are you able to tie the service information that you're viewing to the problem that you have to basically lay out a roadmap for you? That all goes into the skill set, and I see a lot of shops, or I've experienced a lot in shops, to where they look at a skill set as how fast can you get this part replaced, how fast can you move on to the next thing, how many hours can you bill in a week, and so on and so forth. And now, I'm not saying that's a wrong way to go at it. I think if you're looking specifically for electrical diagnostics, and this could be directed towards someone who's hiring, or maybe somebody who's looking to acquire a position within a company, or maybe you're just trying to hone your skills in general, for your own sake. I think the right questions need to be asked. Because if you're going in, say you're looking to get hired into a position that would be primarily electrical diagnostics or something of that nature, you want to make sure that the place that you're looking at going to has service information, has offering training and tooling. So we'll touch on those in a minute. But if you're in the position where you're hiring to fill a certain position, in this case, electrical diagnostics, I think you need to ask the correct questions to make sure that your or the shop's needs are being met. Like, what's your experience with this line of work? How are you in problem solving? Do you have knowledge in the tooling that we have? Do you have knowledge in the basics? Are you adaptable? Are you, what's your procedure as far as if an issue comes in? If, and the list can go on and on and on. But I think to get a level playing field in this case between employer and employee, they both need to ask valid, correct questions to come to an understanding. So the skill set goes way above and beyond just being able to troubleshoot cars. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot that goes into that. But the skill set ties all four of these points together and utilizes them to their full potential. And I'm not saying it gets utilized the full potential every single time. I mean, we're all human. I get that. But if you can tie service information with the tooling and the training, and maybe your experience, that all sharpens and hones your skill set. So I think that was an important point to touch on. So moving on, we've got training. Continual training and education is absolutely crucial with automotive diagnostics. As systems change, systems go away, systems get added, systems get tweaked, even on the same model year vehicle. So, keeping up on that, knowing your basics in electrical and stuff like that. And again, that gets tied into the other points as well. Do you have training? Are you able to properly navigate service information? Are you training to hone your skill set? Are you training on the tooling provided, or the tooling that you're invested in? That all leads to it. So each spot ties to each other. And I think you really need to have a good grasp and have situational awareness on each of these points to really fine-tune your skill set and your ability to work through these problems efficiently and accurately. So training could be networking, it could be hands-on, it could be a lecture, it could be a webinar, it could be a nationwide, it could be, reading Motor Age magazines, stuff like that, stuff that you're seeing, research, stuff like that. Literally looking through service information is training. You're not only learning the platform faster to be more efficient at it, but you're also finding theory and operation and circuit description and stuff like that, which is just going to help you more in the long run. So the last point I wanted to touch on is tooling. And under there I put scan tool, scope, meter, network. And yeah, networking with people is part of your toolbox, essentially, helping each other out and stuff like that. But you kind of gotta have the balance, right? Because if you've got the skill set but no tooling, you may not be able to troubleshoot the vehicle or repair the vehicle, right? So, and if you don't have the tooling, training on that particular tooling becomes probably problematic. It might be hard to work through if you're doing a hands-on training course or something on a specific tool or specific application. If you don't have the tool, the knowledge is good, but in order to get from cradle to grave, we're going to need the tooling as well to kind of wrap this all together. And then down in the right-hand corner there, I kind of starred situation. And like I said, this isn't an end-all be-all for every situation. I understand demographics change, different scenarios. I get it. But, in a nutshell, and these can all be expanded on a lot more and in more depth, but I think this is just a kind of a short overview on what I found that really helps become better, in this case, in electrical diagnostics. Being able to tie these together and interlink them and use them seamlessly will help you increase your accuracy and your efficiency. So you guys, if you like the video, like, comment, share, and if there's anything that you would add, feel free to leave it in the comments. I'm happy to see what you guys think. I appreciate you guys watching and your time. Thanks so much. We will see you on the next one.